The 1960s gave us a very different vision of the future. Forget realism. This was sci-fi with go-go boots, lava lamps, and laser guns that looked like toys. It was wild, colorful, and often more about swinging style than actual science fiction. Some films knew they were in on the joke, and the result was a wave of colorful, chaotic, and groovy visions of the future. Here are some gloriously campy sci-fi films from the 1960s. If there's one movie that defines campy 60s sci-fi, it's Barbarella, directed by Roger Vadim and starring Jane Fonda in the role that turned her into a space-age icon. The film is less about plot and more about outrageous visuals. Fonda plays a space adventurer sent on a mission to stop a deadly weapon, but the story takes a back seat to the film's parade of surreal set pieces, zero-gravity strip teases, shag carpet spaceships, and villains who look like they wandered out of an art exhibit. It's sexy, absurd, and knowingly tongue-in-cheek, a movie that fully embraces its own ridiculousness. Barbarella has since become a cult favorite, a psychedelic time capsule of how the 60s imagined the future.
I'm also the great tyrant. Well, that's nice.
Few films capture the playful spirit of camp as perfectly as this one, and that's why it still reigns as the queen of fun 60s sci-fi. If Barbarella is the space queen of 60s camp, then Diabolik is her masked, leather-clad partner in crime. Directed by Mario Bava, Danger Diabolik follows a master thief who steals millions, makes love in circular beds, and blows up government buildings, all while wearing a skin-tight black bodysuit and barely speaking. It's based on an Italian comic and plays like pop art noir. Every frame is drenched in color, filled with geometric sets, wild camera angles, and music from Ennio Morricone that sounds like it was recorded inside a lava lamp. Stylish, smug, and cool to the point of parody. It feels like it takes place on a planet where fashion and crime are the only two things that matter. Maybe they're right. Sumuru doesn't just want to rule the world. She wants to replace all world leaders with beautiful women under her control. Played with icy charm by Shirley Eaton, fresh off Goldfinger, Sumuru commands a secret all-female army, hidden behind false walls and gold lame curtains. The film tries to pass itself off as a serious spy thriller, but every scene is dripping with 60s excess. Wild colors, improbable gadgets, and dialogue that feels like it was written by someone who skimmed a Bond script once, half asleep.
Why do you hate me? I'm just a girl like any other.
Any other what? Scorpion?
There's a charm to how committed it is, never quite winking at the audience, but never convincing you it knows what it's doing either. Somewhere between spy-fi and soft sci-fi, Sumuru rides a fine line between nonsense and gold. In the not-so-distant future, murder has been legalized, as long as it's part of an organized game. That's the setup for The 10th Victim, a sleek Italian sci-fi satire where people hunt each other for sport in front of TV cameras and ad sponsors. Marcello Mastroianni plays a jaded veteran of the game, while Ursula Andress, in a metallic bullet-firing bikini, is out to claim him as her 10th and final kill. The film is dripping with 60s style, minimalist sets, surreal commercials, and fashion that looks like it came from a moon landing runway show. It's part sci-fi, part mod art piece, and while it's not as chaotic as other entries on this list, its deadpan delivery and pop art aesthetic make it feel right at home in the world of camp. If James Bond were made by horny aliens on a shoestring budget, you'd get Zeta One. This British sexploitation oddity takes place in a world where scantily clad alien women from the planet Angvia are locked in a secret war with a shadowy Earth-based organization. Or at least, that's what the plot claims. Most of the movie is just groovy interiors, prolonged stripteases, and double entendres that barely pass for dialogue. The whole thing is framed around one man recounting his encounter with the alien queen while lounging in a bubble bath, which tells you everything you need to know about the tone. It's cheap, aimless, and constantly distracted by its own libido. But if you're looking for peak late 60s camp with lava lamp energy and absolutely no concern for coherence, Zeta One delivers. A rescue mission to Mars takes a sinister turn when astronauts bring back a silent, green-skinned alien woman. She has hypnotic powers and a thirst for human blood. Queen of Blood was stitched together using footage from a Soviet sci-fi epic, with new scenes shot in Los Angeles, including a young Dennis Hopper playing one of the doomed crew members. The result is strangely effective, a dreamy, horror-tinged space movie with glowing gels, eerie silence, and a tone that shifts between pulp and nightmare. It's the kind of film that lingers more for its mood than its plot, part alien thriller, part hypnotic B-movie oddity. Vincent Price trades horror for high camp as Dr. Goldfoot, a mad scientist with a lab full of gold bikini-wearing female robots. His plan? Program them to seduce millionaires and drain their bank accounts. The setup plays like a mashup of Bond parody, sci-fi gadgetry, and beach party chaos, complete with slapstick chases, cartoon sound effects, and a theme song by the Supremes.
Dr. Goldfoot and his bikini machine. Woo!
Price leans into the absurdity with perfect timing, surrounded by sets that look like they were built out of leftover surfboards and glitter. It's messy, loud, and barely stitched together, but it captures the exact moment when spy films, teen comedies, and sci-fi all collided in one big Technicolor explosion. This Italian import plays like Star Trek reimagined by a pulp comic book cover, set in a future where everyone wears matching uniforms and speaks in vague technobabble. The Wild Wild Planet features a plot involving human miniaturization, corporate conspiracies, and four-armed henchmen with matching wigs. The sets are boxy and artificial, lit in radioactive reds and greens, while the pacing swings between dead serious and completely unhinged. At times, it feels like the crew is performing experimental theater on a spaceship made of cardboard. But the film's commitment to its weirdness is what makes it fun. It never stops trying to outdo itself, even when it has no idea where it's going. A chaotic cocktail of Euro sci-fi and mod-era surrealism. This is a Frankenstein of a film, part Soviet sci-fi footage, part new American scenes spliced in, all held together by voiceover and wishful thinking. The U.S. segments star Mamie Van Doren and a tribe of blonde alien priestesses who communicate telepathically, wear seashell tops, and worship a pterodactyl. Meanwhile, the plot involves astronauts landing on a volcanic planet and running into all sorts of dangers that may or may not relate to the women. The tonal mismatch is half the fun. One half brooding Cold War exploration, the other half a beach movie with space wigs. It's barely coherent, but the visuals, lava, fog, ruins, and bikini-clad aliens staring into the distance, give it a hypnotic, almost dreamlike vibe.